Good gardening afternoon. This is Satsu the Satsuma. As you can see, Satsu has many blossoms open and is ready to make satsumas. I'm so excited. It smells wonderful. This is our Persian lime, and here is our lemon tree. And I'm going to show you that we have two tiny little lemons right there. Two very tiny little lemons. Woohoo! Here are the blackberries, and this one is blooming. It is very tiny, but we're going to have a few blackberries this year. As you can see, our bee feed is doing well. There's a little bit of the fig tree. There's our grape. And more blackberries. Here's the ever-bearing fig. And here are our peas and beans, and this is our garlic. Lots of garlic, a few scapes from the elephant garlic, but lots of garlic. A few brassicas that are going to flower, and our tomatoes. 2 rows of tomatoes here. And these tomatoes are doing really, really well. And some are interplanted with the onions because the onions will be coming out soon. And you can see some of the tomatoes have gone really tall and have gone to flower. I have picked some of these little yellow-orange tomatoes, and they are sweet like candy. Those are called sun gold tomatoes. And I have some other tomatoes here that appear to be doing really, really well. Lots of blooms, lots of small tomatoes. But I want to show you a couple in particular. Check this guy out. I'm going to put my hand so you can see exactly how big this is. Wow. And there's another one right over here that is just as big. Again, more tomatoes, and these are the paste tomatoes. You can tell by their shape that they are paste tomatoes. They're kind of oblong. Here's the tomatillo, and for those of you who remember, I just love tomatillo blooms. And you can see the little tomatillo husks there, and I'm looking forward to tomatillos. Now, as for my onions, I have both short day and intermediate day onions. And if you can see here, they're bulbing, which is wonderful. That's a short day. But if I come down here a little bit further along this row, you're going to see that some of my intermediate day onions are bulbing as well. This one here looks pretty good. See how it's starting to bulb as well? So I'm not sure what the big deal is. These are carrots that I have let go to flower. These are purple carrots. And I have plenty of carrots there as well. And here are the potatoes, and it looks like maybe they've got a little bit of bug pressure and something else that got into the garden, not sure what. But I do want to show you that these are actually flowering as well. Check this out, potato flowers. Aren't those just cool and pretty? Here are the beans, and I'll show you more of these later, but these have had little bitty flowers on them already. And I was trying to show you a nice pretty flower, but it looks like they've all faded, especially with all the rain. But they have lots of these little flowers all over them. They're pretty pink in color. Here are my zinnias. These are called Ice Queen. Each one's a bit different, but I'm looking forward to when these continue to grow and have a nice little set of pink flowers all along this area in the front yard. Here are my sunflowers. They're about 2 feet tall now. And I have lots and lots of herbs to show you today. Here's my basil, but check out the thyme. That is huge. But even bigger is the oregano. It is absolutely huge. And the sage is just absolutely huge. Here's an iris. It's the last one probably of the blooming season. And my dwarf sunflowers along with marigolds. Beautiful different kinds of sunflowers here. A teddy bear type, a regular type. I look forward to seeing what these are going to do. Here is a rose bush in the backyard. The viburnum is blooming again, although not as profusely as the first time, but I'm sure the bees will love it. Here is the Carolina jasmine and the blueberries. I do have a problem with bamboo in this area, and so I'm going to be trying to chop it all out again. But more blueberries. This one here does have some actual blueberries on it, and I'm hoping to get a taste before the birds get to it. Another blueberry with bamboo. Another blueberry. And you can see my daylilies there getting ready to bloom as well. And another blueberry, and this one also has some blueberries on it. This one's called Pink Lemonade. I really hope I get to taste at least one or two of those. Then over here we have our raspberries. Again, they were blooming the last weekend and they're still blooming and setting fruit. So I'm going to be looking forward to tasting these. And here's the second raspberry. This is the star jasmine. It is full of blooms. Here are my pumpkins. And I've got Cherokee tan pumpkins on the outer side, and on the inside I have Blue Bayou pumpkins, and those are little flowers there. And look over here, I could not believe it. There is an actual pumpkin flower on a pumpkin plant that has 2 leaves, and this is a male pumpkin flower. In the raised bed garden, we have kale. I might get 1 or 2 more clippings off of this before it goes to seed. The spinach is going to seed, and I'm okay with that because I'm going to collect those seeds as well. Here are my zucchini. They seem to be starting out to do pretty good. They've got flowers on them. And I do actually have a teeny tiny zucchini. Let me show you. There it is, little zucchini. Now around here I also have some squash. These are yellow squash. And then I have cucumbers and some beans that came up from where I had beans last year. So cucumbers and beans there. Here we have more brassicas going to flower. We've got kale, as well as cabbage and Brussels sprouts and cauliflower. Those are our brassicas all going to make flowers and seed, and I will be collecting these seeds as soon as the flowering pretty much stops. I also have some elephant garlic in here that I'm raising as a seed stock for next year, and again, more kale going to flower and seed. Here are the beans, and you can see that the beans on both sides of the fence are approximately the same height, even though they were planted at different times, and the radish is blooming. Here's the front of the house, and I wanted to show you the Japanese maple here. This has never kept the color for so long. Usually it will turn green, and you can see a little bit of green on some of these leaves. But usually by now the whole thing is green. This is an area that I'm working on changing a little bit and adding some things. But these gardenias are just awesome. These used to be about 5 feet high before the freeze, and look there, they're actually going to bloom. Another thing that gives me hope is to see these two plants. This one, you can see a little bit of green at the bottom, but the freeze really hit it hard. This one looked worse than that one, and look at all the leaves coming back. So I have no doubt if I wait just a little bit, the leaves will return. Have a wonderful week full of bountiful blossoms and blessings.